Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to drboycetv.com. This is the home for intelligent black people. I wanted to jump out and talk for a second about Nick Cannon. I don't know if you guys know, but Nick Cannon, you've known Nick Cannon. I don't have to tell you who he is. He's done a lot of work. He's been around for a while. I just read that he was fired. Nick Cannon was fired from Viacom. Viacom fired him from his show Wild 'N Out. And they did it, I guess, because they claimed that he made some anti-Semitic remarks this week on his show. It's called Cannon's Class, and it's his YouTube broadcast. And so Viacom, when they fired Nick Cannon, one of the interesting things that happened is they basically were making reference to these anti-Semitic remarks. Now, I don't know about you. Give me a yes or no in the chat if any of this surprises you. I'm not surprised that he got fired. I was expecting that. I mean, brothers get fired on their day off just because you're too black. I've been fired. If anybody else has ever been fired for being too black, raise your hand in the chat because y'all know the racism's real. You know what it is, right? And so basically he was interviewing with Professor Griff, and they were basically talking about some of the things that you're not allowed to talk about in white and Jewish-owned media. And it has, and I haven't watched the interview yet. I'm going to go take a look at it. But I guess it relates to some stuff about the Rothschilds and the whole centralized banking thing, as well as a debate about who the original Hebrews are. Now, I'm not here to get into that debate because I'd be speaking out of my lane. I have mad respect for those of you who understand that history very well. I respect all those viewpoints, but here's what I want to break down. Here's what I want to kind of analyze for you. And when it comes to Nick Cannon getting fired. So Nick Cannon gets fired by Viacom. Now I'm going to read to you what Viacom said when they fired Nick from his show. His show's called Wild 'N Out. So when they fired him, so check this out. I'm going to read this article to you, and then I'm going to tell you what I observed. I'm going to point out the racism in media, and I'm going to point out to you why media is full of crap. Just why, the game is rigged from the jump. I really used to have a hard time really even understanding how Nick could be so black and still keep his job. I said, okay, eventually he's going to get fired because they don't like that kind of blackness. They're not ready for that type of smoke. They don't want that kind of realness. And so anyway, so I'm actually happy for him. Congratulations, Nick. You are now a free black man. Now you can go off into the world and really do what you were meant to do instead of going around here, trying to do what Terry Crews does for a living. And I'm sorry, but Terry Crews is an embarrassment, not just to his family, not just to the black community, not just to black men everywhere, but Terry Crews is an embarrassment to the human race. I'm sorry. The Negro is ridiculous. I was laughing with Alicia. I said, I'm just really just flabbergasted that a guy that's 6'3", 243 pounds can let a white man grab his balls and he doesn't respond. He doesn't respond. I just thought that was the funniest thing in the world. I'm sorry. I know y'all might think it's politically incorrect for me to laugh, but I thought that shit was hilarious. So if they got you out there looking like Boo Boo the Fool, Bozo the Clown, then I honestly I would pay money to not have to do Terry's job, let alone forget taking the money or doing the job. No. I would pay money. I would give up all the money that Terry makes and pay extra money just to not have to do that job. Because Terry Crews, to me, is kind of a walking example. He's the epitome of the depths to which we will go to maintain the minstrel show. And if you recall, Nick Cannon had a job similar to Terry Crews. I guess he did one of those shows. I don't know if it was America's Got Talent or America Laughs or Negroes or Clowns. I don't know what the show's called. I forget. But they always have some funny black man up there. And I think Nick Cannon had that job, and then Terry had it or something, whatever. So anyway, let's keep going. So congratulations, Nick. If you're watching, I'm very happy for you. I don't know how you're feeling right now. I'm sorry you lost the money. but you gain something much more valuable, which is your dignity and self-respect. I encourage you to stick to your guns, because no matter how much you apologize, white folks ain't letting you back in the house. You've identified yourself. They're not going to let you back in. Now, here's what was written in Hollywood Reporter. Now, you know the Hollywood agenda. Y'all know who runs Hollywood. Y'all know, I mean, I had my students in the Black Business School read the book, How the Jews Invented Hollywood. Now, I don't know anti-Semitic shit. Now, I don't know, like, we hate Jewish people. We don't do none of that. That's not what we do. I'm not into hate, but because I actually admire the way the Jewish community had the initiative to create Hollywood, to allow them to create jobs for their own people. And I want black people to learn from those builders. That's why we read the book. But here's what's interesting about the article in the Hollywood Reporter. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to point out what I observed here, because, you know, I like to read between the lines. So here's what it says. It says, in a June 30th episode of Cannon's Class, the comedian made comments that have been widely viewed and condemned as anti-Semitic. Nick Cannon has come under fire after a conversation on his podcast, Cannon's Class, was deemed to contain racist and anti-Semitic language. On Tuesday, media giant CBS Viacom responded to the incident by terminating their long-running relationship with the artist. The June 30th episode, which was flagged by a Jewish blogger on Sunday, contained a 90-minute interview between Cannon and former Public Enemy member Richard Griffin, best known by his stage name Professor Griff. In the interview, Cannon made comments that were said to spread views of anti-Semitism. ViacomCBS said in a statement obtained by the Hollywood Reporter, ViacomCBS condemns bigotry of any kind, and we categorically denounce all forms of anti-Semitism. We have spoken with Nick Cannon about an episode of his podcast, Cannon's Class, on YouTube, which promoted hateful speech and spread anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. While we support ongoing education and dialogue in the fight against bigotry, we are deeply troubled that Nick has failed to acknowledge or apologize for perpetuating anti-Semitism, and we are terminating our relationship with him. We are committed to doing better in our response to incidents of anti-Semitism, racism, and bigotry. ViacomCBS will have further announcements on our efforts to combat hate of all kinds. Cannon took to Twitter on Monday to respond to the negative criticism he was receiving online. So here's what Nick said on Twitter. He says, anyone who knows me knows I have no hate in my heart nor malice intentions. I do not condone hate speech nor the spread of hateful rhetoric. We are living in a time when it is more important than ever to promote unity and understanding. Later on, he said he proclaimed himself as an advocate for the people's voices to be heard openly, fairly, and candidly. In today's conversation about anti-racism and social justice, I think we all, including myself, must continue educating one another and embrace uncomfortable conversations. It's the way we all get together. Let me take a breath here. Hold on. All right. So Cannon was the host of the improv competition series Wild 'N Out for the media company. Elsewhere, Cannon is the host of the Fox variety musical series The Masked Singer. This fall, he's scheduled to begin his own syndicated daytime talk show with Lionsgate, premiering September 21st. Good luck with that, Nick. They will probably fire you too. I just want to let you know in advance. So here's what I want to say. This is in support of Nick. First of all, I like what Nick is doing, right? I like what he's doing. You know, he's doing things that are completely Boyce Watkins approved. But one thing I have learned from being Boyce Watkins, I've been Boyce Watkins for a while now, is that doing things that are Boyce Watkins approved will probably get you fired. You know, when I used to go give speeches, sometimes I give speeches at corporations. So you guys know I'm a finance professor. That's my profession. And I would give speeches at these corporations, and and the black people would come to me for advice, and I'd be like, well, just be careful about taking my advice, because I'm the black person who will get you fired. I'm the free Negro who can't explain to you how to get Massa to treat you more kindly on the plantation. I'm the guy that's going to tell you to cut Massa's throat in the middle of the night so you can escape with your family. I'm that guy. So don't get advice from me if you ain't really about that life, right? So the fact that Nick Cannon's actions have been so Boyce Watkins approved right there indicates that he was on the path to getting fired, right? And not only will he be fired from this job, he's going to be fired from every job in which his boss is a white man. Why? Well, because white people ain't never going to stop being white. I don't care how many times they tell you that Black Lives Matter. I don't care how many times they tell you that, oh, we're doing better now. We're gonna give money to the NAACP. I don't care about that. That means nothing. Oh, we're gonna start funding diversity initiatives. They used to say that back in the 80s, man. They've been saying that since Dougie Fresh was in middle school. Like, they've been saying that for 30, 40 years, and they ain't never followed through. They ain't never delivered. They're like a broke-ass baby's daddy who never shows up and pays the child support, but we're like the little 5-year-old sitting on the corner waiting for daddy to arrive because daddy said he gonna take me to the amusement park, and unfortunately, your heart gets broken every time because daddy has never shown up. I'm sorry if I traumatized anybody with that, but because that happens way too often, but that's kind of what white folks are for you. You need to stop letting them be your damn parents, waiting for them to deliver you in a way that I believe you can deliver yourself. So here's what I noticed about this article. This article was in, Hollywood Reporter. And Hollywood Reporter, I read the article in which they talked about Nick in Viacom, which is probably owned by someone from the Jewish community. They're just smart. I mean, just give it up. I mean, that community is smart. They own all the fucking media. They own all a bunch of the banks. Like, they have power. I don't know if it's anti-Semitic for me to say Jewish people are smart and build wealth and have power, but I'm sorry, I don't know what else to say other than the truth, right? So that's what they do. So they own media. Why? Well, because they were intelligent enough to do something that black people need to do, which is to control the narrative about their own people, to control how other people view them, and even control how people view each other. That's what they've been able to do. I read the article in a place called tvline.com, which I'm sure is connected to Hollywood. They all ran similar articles, and let me tell you one thing I noticed that was in common. I noticed this because this is exactly what happened when I had my little thing with Lizzo a few months ago. Basically, it's interesting. They didn't tell you exactly what Nick said. See, they didn't quote Nick. They didn't give you a clip. They didn't say, here, go watch the video for yourself. They didn't say, here, go listen to his words and tell us what you think. They didn't do that, right? They did to Nick what they do to Louis Farrakhan. What racist white folks will do, and yes, Variety, you're racist for this. Yeah, the Hollywood Reporter, you're racist, but that's par for the course. Hollywood's been racist for a long time. It's your media outlet. I guess you got a right to be as biased as you want to be. And basically, what they'll do is they'll be like, he's racist and he's anti-Semitic, but they won't tell you specifically what he said that was racist or anti-Semitic. They'll say, oh, he could, or like they do this actually on certain like sexual assault cases against black men. There's a guy named Albert Wilson, a brother out in Kansas, who's right now in jail, 23-year-old college student, got hemmed up by a white girl who told a lie on him. I believe it was a lie because they were together alone for 5 minutes. He never had sex with her. And all they'll tell you is he went to prison for 12 years and he was convicted of rape. But they do not give you any details so you can understand exactly what happened, because you're like, wait a minute, they were alone for 5 minutes and he only kissed her. At what point does that become rape? Well, it becomes rape because the white man said it's rape. It becomes rape because that's just what this Negro's a rapist. That nothing else to see here, right? That's what they did with Nick. With Nick, they don't want you to hear what Nick had to say, just like they don't want you to hear what Louis Farrakhan has to say, right? Because if they really had a case against Farrakhan, they would allow Farrakhan's message to be heard so you could understand exactly what he said in context. What they do is they say, Farrakhan's anti-Semitic. And you say, well, why? Why is he anti-Semitic? Well, because he is. Well, what did he say that was anti-Semitic? Don't worry about that, right? So, and then you say, well, can I watch for myself? Why don't you put it on the air? Let him debate someone from the Jewish community so we can see, so we can make the decision ourselves. They don't do that. What they do is they'll just say, nothing to see here. We'll interpret this for you. And that's the end of the story, right? So in a way, it reminds me of how, as I was using the analogy that white people are your parents, and I think that's an adequate analogy, because remember when you would get in an argument with your mom, and you'd say, "Can I go to the movies?" And your mom would say, "No, because you got to get up tomorrow." Well, Mom, I don't have to get up tomorrow. School's out tomorrow. And then she says, well, no, because you gotta go to church tomorrow. You say, well, no, Mama, tomorrow's not Sunday. And then she says, well, go to bed because I said so. No, you can't because I said so, right? That's what white people do to you. White people that's what racism, that's what they do with racial power. Racial power is kind of a socio-economic, socio-political way of white people pretty much saying, because I said so. Because we told you so. Because that's what it's gonna be, right? And so because I'm sitting here reading these articles, and I'm hearing what they're saying about Nick, and I looked through several articles to try to see exactly what he said, and at no point do they actually tell you exactly what he said. And I know this trick well because, again, that was exactly what happened when that whole thing went down between me and Lizzo. They didn't. 1,000 media outlets pretty much said, was it sexist professor fat shames Lizzo and gets dragged by the internet. Not one of these outlets called to say, Dr. Watkins, you have more education. You had more education before the age of 25 than most of us will have in our entire lives. can you contextualize what it is you said? Can you explain your words and what you actually meant? They didn't do that because racism is a scenario where they don't really want people thinking, right? That would undermine their white supremacist racial power. They want to think for you. They'll get the information, spin it up, smack it up, flip it, rub it down, and then they will present it to you and feed it to you after they cook the information. That's why I encourage you guys not to trust media. You cannot trust media, especially when they come to you with their interpretation of the information. I don't need your interpretation. I need to come to my own interpretation. Just give me the damn facts. So with Nick Cannon, I'm sorry the brother got fired. I'm not surprised. That's what happens. You get too black, they will still fire your black ass. I don't care how many Black Lives Matter rallies happened in your city. You come out here getting too black. You come out here challenging the norm. You come out here speaking things, even if it's true. Your ass will be gone. And they'll do it under the veil of something like anti-Semitism, when based on what I've seen, not a single word that came out of his mouth was anti-Semitic. Not a single word. But here, see, this is how power works. See, I'm not even mad about it because I read books like Powernomics. Powernomics, Dr. Claude Anderson explains what power looks like. And the thing about power is power puts people in a position where you don't really have to worry about what the rules are because the powerful person makes the rules. And if the rules don't allow the powerful person to win, all they got to do is change the rules. And if the truth does not fit the narrative of the powerful person, all they got to do is change the truth, or change the values and the priorities, or change the whole incentive structure. They can change whatever they want because they have power. So for black people, the response that I would say to something like this is, we knew what it was. Viacom is a company that is run by Jewish people. I think they own BET. BET is a Jewish-run company. Not say this is not anti-Semitic. This is just simply fact. If you look at the background of, I think BET is owned by Viacom. I know they own a lot of media, and they're smart about it. They own a lot of media because they want to make the rules. So I encourage black people to put yourselves in a position where you are the owner and you get to make the rules. Because I can tell you that in the institutions I control, whether you talk about the Black Business School, you talk about my family, you talk about any business venture I'm involved with, I'm one of the owners. And in that space, I make the rules. So how can I be mad at them protecting their interests when I'm definitely the first one in line to protect mine? And you should be in line to protect yours. You need to know what this game is. This is not no friendly damn game. They don't like you. They don't like you, and nothing that Nick said is anti-Semitic. It's just some shit that Jewish people don't want to hear. What you're saying does not lie within the same incentives that we have. You're not helping us pursue our agenda and our cause, so therefore we will annihilate your ass and erase your black ass as fast as we let you in. And so I think Nick is smart. Nick is a brilliant guy. I'm sure he's going to come up with other great things to do. Maybe he'll get more opportunities. I hope that he does. He deserves it. He's a talented guy. But these people ain't playing with you. Seriously, they ain't playing with you. They even buying up black media outlets and got y'all all showing up and watching the damn TV shows and singing and dancing and stuff like BET when you don't even understand who the puppet master really is. So understand how this game is played. It is what it is. So if you want to know the summary, if you want to know my conclusion, I support Nick. I'm sorry this happened to him. I think this might be the best thing in the world that, to happen to him over time. I think he's going to emerge from this just fine. I think this is what he needs because Nick is behaving like a free black man, and you can't behave like a free black man when you're in a situation of a slave. You cannot have the same job as Terry Crews and be out here acting like Malcolm X. Because Terry Crews keeps his job because Terry Crews has accepted the role of the feminine clown, right? He's accepted the role of the minstrel show. He's accepted the role of the big black joke, the big funny bear, right? That's what he's accepted, and that's why he gets plenty of opportunities. The minute Terry Crews steps out of that and says, "Well, I'm a man. I'm going to stand up for myself. I'm going to speak the truth," well, Terry Crews will be fired too. It's what it is. It's life. It's how it works. Sometimes being fired is an absolute compliment for black people. I don't even trust black people who keep their jobs for too long. If white people like you too much, I really don't trust you. I'm not gonna lie. If they love you so much, if a white supremacist system is rewarding you over and over and over again, that honestly makes me look at you with the side eye, because I'm wondering, what did you do to make them like you so much? Because the America I know does not even allow that very often. So that's what it is. That's what I believe. Maybe I'm a skeptic, but that's the truth that I know. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. And Nick, if you're watching, man, I wish you good luck, brother. I hope maybe one day we'll cross paths. And I think you're doing a great job with Cannon's class and everything else. I fully support that. So take care, guys. Hit the thumbs up button and share and subscribe before you go. Also, if you want to follow me on Instagram, follow me at The Real Boyce Watkins. I'm out. Have a good day. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.